Hello again, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about the pre-inspection. Preston, Kallshian, Realtor here, Northwest Home Listings, and I am currently working on a pre-inspection agreement, and I wanted to talk to you about the two different types of pre-inspections and how they work. So we're going to do that coming up right now. Okay, so the pre-inspection can be a little confusing. There's a couple different kinds, and how do they work? So let's get right into it. There's really two different types of pre-inspections. There's the buyer pre-inspection and there's the seller pre-inspection. Okay, so first let's talk about a buyer pre-inspection, because a lot of buyers are probably curious about this and what does it mean and how does it work? A buyer pre-inspection is typically conducted on behalf of the buyer along with their agent and a home inspector, and it's before they make an offer, thus the pre-offer part, the pre-inspection. What that means is we're arranging a time with the listing agent and with the seller themselves, the client of the listing agent, and they will agree in writing to allow you to do a pre-inspection, reserve a window of 2 to 3 hours to do it, and at that point you go in and do your standard home inspection. Some cases that's just a walkthrough and a verbal thing with your inspector where they're helping you overcome those obstacles that would prohibit you from making an offer without an inspection contingency. So that's the goal here usually with the buyer is, let's do a pre-inspection, find out everything we can about this house, and then be able to write an offer with no inspection contingency, waiving your inspection, right? So we've all heard of waiving inspection, and that can sound very scary, but inspection can be waived after you've done a pre-inspection. Therefore, you're not taking all that risk, you know what you're getting, and the seller and the listing agent can feel really comfortable that you're not going to get cold feet. You've spent a lot of time at the house, you've pre-inspected, you know everything that you could possibly know about at this point, and your offer is written with that in mind. So it puts you in a very good position for winning multiple offers. Okay, so now let's talk about the seller pre-inspection. It's really common in this market, and here's why. Because if a seller does a pre-inspection, they're able to uncover all those things, correct them if they want to, and then make that inspection report available to all buyers agents, anybody who wants to look at it. And if they're happy with that, they might again waive their inspection contingency and be able to submit an offer kind of as is, saying we know what's in the inspection report, we've seen it, we're happy with that, it's from a qualified inspector, it's got a recent date on it. Those are all good things about a seller pre-inspection. Now the buyer could still put an inspection contingency in their offer and do an inspection post-offer, or still do a pre-inspection on their own behalf because they want to trust their inspector and exactly what they find, right? But the seller pre-inspection is very powerful in a seller's market because it allows them to get multiple buyers who will waive their inspection contingency and therefore really not have any way to walk away other than maybe financing contingencies, appraisals, things like that. But even those in this market are contingencies that we're seeing waived quite often. So the pre-inspection, whether you take a look at a seller pre-inspection or you do a buyer pre-inspection on your own, can be really powerful for winning multiple offers and knowing everything you want to know about the house either before you list it or before you buy it. Now I will mention there is a downside to a seller pre-inspection. In some cases, and in some states, the seller would be obligated to disclose any defects that they had found, material defects in the home that they hadn't corrected. So that can be the downside of the seller pre-inspection. Once they know everything, you can't unknow it. So that's how pre-inspections work. Thanks so much for watching. I hope this was helpful. It's Northwest Home Value. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.